Everyone. Welcome back to Day One Dev YouTube channel. Today we're going to practice one more CKAD application developer exercise. And let's start with the session. All right. So you can see here I'm logging into terminal, and as I called out, this is my best layout for the certification. And if you see here, I logged into a system. Now I'll set a alias, k equals a kubectl. So let's start with us. What we're going to do in this problem, we do have a two task. The task one, it says create a Docker file. Okay, that's an interesting one. And the second one is an build and save a container image. Okay. Generally, in real world, we do not save a image. If I understood correctly, here it's asking us to create a tar file. Generally, in real world, we don't do this. In application development, we create an image, then we push it to a repository. I do have another video how to push it to a Docker repository where I build the entire project, but I do suggest you guys to look at it, and I'll do a bookmark also here as part of the end of the video. You'll see that how to use a Jenkins pipeline, build an image of a Java project, and push it to a Docker repository. All right. So let's start with this, our first creation of a Docker file. So if you're not familiar how each and every step to do it, you can do a quick check on Kubernetes documentation. It'll help you. But the problem here, one big call out, I want to just do a big shout out. You may not find a lot of a Docker file information here. The reason is this is Kubernetes documentation. And unfortunately, in exam, you cannot go and search in a Google. You can't do that. So I highly suggest you memorize some of the steps here. That's going to be easier for you. Okay, how to create a Docker file. You can do that in Docker CLI commands. CLI command. Okay, there's a documentation, but in exam, you can't do that. I can't go to this site to build your Docker file. Okay, but for now, if you are a beginner, you can use this early phase of your Docker file, how to do it, but I'm comfortable on creating a Docker file. I don't need this help here. Okay, I'll close this file. So let's start with our first step, creating a Docker file. Let's set the project directories. Let's go to our repository. Okay, there is no repository. You don't need to call config. Okay, let's go to our folder, home, cloud user, bus. Okay, we are here. You can see my screen. Perfect. We do have all this required information. The files been called out. I think they should be here. Create a Docker file at this location. Okay, we are in that location, and we should use a base image. This is a base image. We're going to do it, and then it asks us to configure a Docker file to place it in bus and main DAT file, container image, and 2, 3. Okay, there are 3 files here. We have it. That's perfect. Let's start with our Docker file. Make sure that Docker file is in this kind of a format, which is has to be uppercase, D, and lower file. It's a single word. Okay, so let's do this. It should create a VUI file. Now let's log in. Now, first step is always a Docker. You start with a from. It's a busy box because it's been called out 1.34.1. That's good. The tag next one, you have to use it. Now the second step, it's asking us to create a file. So the command is add because the files are in local and we need to have a files.txt and the path is etc. The etc path of our Docker image once we create it. Okay, the main data.txt is asking us to change the file names in a container. So I'll call as a data2xt. It's the same thing, .txt. It's asking us to keep as is. So it's not just like that the data1. So it's asking us to create a data2.txt. So that's we can do that. Then data3. I'll show you in a different format also here. You don't need to create a file name because we are carrying as is. This is another option you can do it. So I'm just creating three different options. One is the renaming a file, which as per the requirement. The second one I copied as is and a folder, but I added a file name. The third one, I'm not creating adding a file name here. All right, we are good on this part. Let's save it and let's go and verify. It should be, excuse me, and I think we cannot verify here. Let's do part here, dot verify. We're gonna do this. Okay. Docker command not found. Line 28. I don't have line 28. Let's see what is it. Why it's asking us a line 28 is a issue. Okay. This might be the one. Like, guess this is the one. It's that's the problem. This here, it's expecting to stick to our standards. We're good on this part. All right. So now let's see whether we have a Docker here command. Okay. Okay. It looks like we don't have Docker. So let's do sudo apt install docker.io. We are doing it as for the requirements here. Now let's see. Wait for the image. Let it come. Okay. It's good. Now let's do a Docker version. It should show up. Certain version it's going to be there. All right, 85, 90, 95. We are pretty close. Excellent. It's installing a file. The Docker image is getting installed on this machine. You know, generally, do not do an update in your real exam. If you are actually CKAD, I don't think it will ask you to any install. If I remember, because I'm certified with the CKAD and CKA. It doesn't ask you to install a software. You should have a Docker there, if I recollect. But in CKA, which is the administration, it might ask you to install some softwares or upgrade Kubernetes. So during that time, generally, it depends on if you are doing a minor upgrade of your Kubernetes. I do not touch a security upgrades, which is doing an APT update. The reason I don't do that is sometimes security impacts your entire networking. So just be cautious on that part. All right. So now we are Docker. Let's see version. Perfect. We have a Docker 24. We are good on this. It's pretty recent version. Now let's create a Docker build. I think it's image build. Trying to no, what you can do here. I can do, let's say image. Let's call it image -help. They should give you this. All right. So you can see here the commands. We're going to get all this stuff. That's a good. So we're going to do this back. We go back and what does it say? It says create image name buzz1. All right. So we're going to create buzz tag 1 and you need to have a period. And what did I do mistake? Oh, -t. It's -t. We have to create it. Okay, if your file is a different, you're not using a Docker file, it might fail. Generally, if I have to do a project, sometimes I have a multiple Docker files in the same Git repo, then I do -f. Okay, we'll do that exercise when you're doing it in a different project. But for now, we are not going to do that. Oh, it's not an image, it's a build. You can do also Docker image build, we can do it. Okay, we got an image. I can see here, Docker image, let's say ls. All right, this here, we created a bus with a version 1. We have a perfect. And it also downloads a base image, which is we called out in a from. So it's going to be there here. All right, now we are good on this part. Now let's create the tar file as per the requirement. So we are going to create, if you see a save, let's do a help here. That's an image help. Okay, if you see here, Docker image save or Docker save both works and output to a string. Okay, so we're going to create Docker save -o as per the output string. Now we need to have a path, which is a home cloud user. We are on the same path. We don't need to do anything, but we are going to call it, we don't need this path because we are in the same folder, bus underscore one up one dot tar. We are on this part and we have to provide the image. So if you see here options we provided, now we are going to provide an image. The image is bus one because that's the version one we have to build it up. All right, so okay, let's do what ls. This here we got an tar file ls lrt. You can see here. I think this is almost closer to C something a 5 MB or pretty close to I don't do a math here, but somewhere it's a 5 MB or a file is a tar file. Let's do a verify. Oops, that's a yeah, okay. So let's go to our root folder. That's where the verify is going to be. The path. What did I miss out? Did I miss out anything? Archive is located. Save copy and image. Okay, it should be here. Okay. Okay, so maybe I'll give you permissions. It might be the issue. My guess is like no one can read it. Okay, so let's call out the verify again. Don't see any issue. Use CC just to making sure that everything is right. They created from a tag one. Bar. I don't see this. Okay, let me verify why that. What is expectation of a var? Okay, grab minus 3. It should be in bus. Yeah, I don't see anything. Tar file. There should be. Okay, let's do. Let me go to the root folder. Okay, maybe let me do it from here. Okay, let me do a Dockerfile. Maybe I'll recreate a Docker. Save -o / home cloud. Aha, that is a problem. That's the problem. That's a problem. Okay. You know what's the problem? Okay, let me show you. That's a big mistake we done it this year. We have a bus. I was thinking it's everything how to write it in a bus. The tar file is inside a bus. So okay. So now if we go to cloud user, right? If I see here, it's not there. Bus dot tar file, right? So now we are going to move from bus tar to here. Okay, let's go. Now it should work out for us. Should work out for us. There you go. All right, perfect. I think we got it. Let's thank you very much for practicing all my CKA and CKAD, and I'll see you guys in the new exercises. I'll come back with a new challenging task. Meanwhile, please subscribe to Day One Dev, and I'll bookmark my other demo in the Docker. That way, it's going to be easier for you guys to figure it out.